A fellow YouTuber by the name of Sohan Nitos gave me this broken Game Boy game to see if I can repair it. I like a challenge, so let's go ahead and open this up and see what we're working with. What you're looking at here is a footprint for a memory chip on a Game Boy cartridge. This is a chip that's responsible for saving and loading the game, so I'm told. The issue that this person was having initially before they attempted the repair was that the game wasn't saving or loading files correctly, so he tried to reflow the chip in hopes of fixing it. In the process of that, he did damage quite a few etches, and I'm not here to make fun of him for that. We all start at the same place. When I first started with electronics, I had my fair share of botches. And it takes acknowledging that and growing from there to really become better at soldering and repairs in general. It's just a bridge we all have to cross. All that being said, we do have a lot of damage, and I'll walk through it right now and how we will fix it. I think this chip can still be used, but the excess solder has to be removed and the pins need to be straightened out. With the chip out of the way, it's now time to clean up the board by removing all of the damaged traces and retinning the pads that are left. In order to repair these etches, I'll be using 30 gauge wire to recreate and jump all of them. If we look at the right side, you'll see that we have a lot of pads over here. These actually tie into the broken pads over here because it looks like you can use a bigger chip to replace this smaller chip, or maybe they were just interchangeable and they used what they had. Either way, it helps out with repairing. So what I'll do is I'll solder a wire to this via, run it across the broken etch path, and then tack it down over here just to give it some more stability to prevent it from moving when heating up. For the left side of the chip, we don't have any pads to solder to in order to increase stability, but it's still repairable by using the vias as solder points and carefully bending the wire. The first repaired etch is being jumped to exposed copper under the solder mask, as a via isn't close by. The rest on this side will be jumped to vias. With all the jumper wires tacked down, they can now be bent into shape and soldered to the vias. I'm routing a few of the left side jumper wires underneath the chip to make it easier to replace the chip if it is bad. The remaining etches can be jumped from vias to the chip once it's in place. It's finally time to solder the chip into place. If you haven't guessed yet, the jumper wires are acting as new pads to solder to. This is a pretty unorthodox repair method, but it's a lot of fun, so why not? The remaining pins are being soldered to normal pads. Now, since the chip is slightly elevated due to the jumper wire height, the pins have to be bent down just a little bit in order to create a decent solder joint. So for the moment of truth, let's go ahead and test out this cart and see if it's working. Now, just to eliminate any naysayers, I'm going to go ahead and put my watch down on my desk and hopefully keep it in view of all times. That way you can just, see for yourself that I'm not altering the footage or anything, just to prove that it's working. So let's go ahead and just pop the screw off. Just reopen it so I can show you that it's still the same board. I'm not sure why. I just feel like it's necessary to prove that it's the same one, so that way people don't think I'm faking it for whatever reason. But yeah, same board, same repaired etches, all of that. So let's go ahead and close it back up. Now, I had to go out and buy a DSi Lite from a game store not too far from me. I'll drop the name in the description of the video, because Game Boy Advances and Game Boy Advance SPs in the Buffalo area seem to be non-existent for some reason. But I was able to buy this broken DSi Lite, which has a GBA slot. So let's go ahead and load our cart in. Not even 100% sure if this system works. The gentleman did show it powering on, but the cart's in. Turns on. And right there you'll see start GBA games. That's a good sign. I'm trying not to get my face in the reflection because it's a very unflattering angle. Now, I've never played this game before, but I'm just glad to see it's working. The chip I replaced had to do with the save and load functionality of the game, according to the person who I got it from. So let's go ahead and see if we can load a game, which there are 3 load files. So that's working. So let's load this one. I have no idea what just happened, but that seems like a good place to save. Let's overwrite. Alright, so it saved just fine. So let's go ahead and turn it off. And then turn it back on just to make sure it actually did save. It was the third one. And yeah, it's saved. So that means the game itself is restored to its original functionality. And I would consider this a successful repair. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.